Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:30. It's time to go behind the hedges. I'm Mitch.
And this is Matt.
And we are here to talk all things Georgia and most things not Georgia. I don't know, Matt. Should we just go ahead and play the thing?
Before we play the thing, because there's a lot of stuff to cover tonight, and I'm going to say this probably a few times tonight. Folks, dear listeners, college football fans, Georgia fans, this is going to be a weird year. I can feel it in my bones. But what is extra weird to me is that I had written off Mr. George Pickens for the season. That's out of my mind. And apparently, if what I'm reading in front of me is true, and it is, we might be seeing that man again. And with that, I think you better do that thing.
Here we go. All right, we already have people waiting. Well, have callers on hold. We don't want to leave them waiting any longer. Just go ahead and add a few of the usual suspects back here to the stream. Welcome to the stream, boys. Nice to see you all.
Crew.
And an unusual amount of orange.
They all wear orange. This is a bad start.
It's So Matt and I, this is a Georgia show. All right, so we're gonna talk about some Georgia stuff now. I know that Georgia played South Carolina, but there's a little bit to hash out there, and Matt alluded to it in our little preview there, our cold open, so to speak. Matt, you said that we had some news on George Pickens.
All right, so a couple of things I'm gonna touch on. Okay, and again, I'm gonna say it. I'm going to repeat myself. In my mind, I had written George Pickens off for a couple of reasons. ACL injury, that's enough. Even if it heals and he pulls it, who was it, Amari Cooper? It was one of the Amaris. Tore it in the spring, came back and played in the season. Even if he pulls that, he might be like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to go to the NFL. There's a lot of reasons why I said, you know what, stop. Let's just drop that. He's gone. But apparently, he's been cleared for non-contact activity, football activity, and has been running for 2 weeks and looks to observers, at least on the running part, to be 100%.
In straight line. We're talking straight line running.
2 weeks ago, cuts looked kind of rusty. Last week, cuts looked a lot better. Kirby was on here. I'm not going to pull it up, but he said he was watching George today. He's not taking contact, but if you didn't know he had a slight tear to his ACL, you wouldn't know. Now, George has visited James Andrews, if you're familiar with that name. He's a world-renowned surgeon. And this is the guy that cleared him and said, this thing that happened to your knee, ACL is bad. It's bad. But in the world of ACL, you had the best case scenario, and his body is responding as well as he's ever seen. Pickens and his family, don't shoot the messenger. They're aiming. This is Pickens and his family on Twitter saying that he wants to come back for the Florida game.
So that's the end of October.
I had written him off.
Well, I was kind of thinking, since you're saying he was non-contact, he'd be playing against Vanderbilt, put up on chain.
Hey.
Oh well. Hey.
Is this thing on?
I'm here all weekend. Tip your wages.
You might be here.
My take on that, Scotty, is that's the old. He's not going to be 100%, so he won't play against Florida. That way, when you guys lose, there's like that defense of, if we had George Pickens, we would have won, just like he did with JT Daniels for the last 4 games.
So you're hoping that we miss a guy we already didn't have, so you could maybe win because it's that one guy.
For your vaunted 2-touchdown offense in 3 games. Like I'm really terrified of what you don't have. Just like.
We'll see how well Mr. Emory Jones and did Anthony Richardson play it down?
He did a hell of a backflip. That was
he did.
Yeah. We'll see how Emory Jones. We'll see how Emory Jones stacks up against Jordan Davis, who can run him down. They clock Jordan at 20 miles an hour on the GPS, just so you know.
You think, but see, I'm giving you this from experience because that's what just happened with Dan Mullen. If we had Anthony Richardson, maybe we beat Bama. Oh, but we didn't. But he's going to play the next week.
Is that what he said?
No. That's my.
It's just a built-in excuse.
It's a built-in excuse. It's like, look, we almost won, and if we would have had this key guy, we would have won. But
I see. Okay. All right, let me clarify that. I don't care if we had Pickens or not. We're going to stomp you guys in Jacksonville. Pickens is a non-factor, but if he's back, that's one more guy you got to account for while you worry about Jermaine and Darnell and Brock and all the rest of them.
Trash talking aside, gentlemen, it's
good news for Georgia fans if the guy comes back.
It's good news for college football fans too, because I don't think any of us really truly like to see people get hurt. And when Jalen Waddle went down last year, it bummed me out.
Yeah,
the guy's a freaking mass murderer on the football field, but Jesus, you don't want to see a guy like that get hurt. And Georgia's exciting. He's somebody. He's our ex guy. You know what I memean? And you don't like to see that guy get hurt. And we were thinking that if we saw him at all, it would be against maybe Georgia Tech at the last, end of the season, maybe post game, most postseason stuff or whatever, or maybe he just decides to, just take his talents to the NFL or whatever. And we've never Pickens will never wear a jersey again, that kind of stuff, but like the dude seems to be like motivated and seems to be like driven to come back to the field. So that's exciting for us. And I think by and large it should be exciting, to college football fans.
But there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Pickens aside, who knows? That might play out. It might not. Darnell and Tyke are expected back against Vandy.
Yo, thank God.
That news broke today. Kirby gave a post-practice interview today. They were both running and doing drills, not with their groups, but outside of their groups. And he stopped and was like, "Who is that? They look fast." And it turns out it was Tyke Smith and Darnell Washington, a big wart. And we'll talk about warts with Georgia here in a second. A big wart against South Carolina were those 4 long balls they got burned on.
Mm-hmm. Josh Vann. Hey, listen, that kid, we talk a lot of trash about South Carolina, and they are not a good football team. But coming into that game, they were statistically pretty stout defensively. Kevin Harris, the running back, gets a lot of talk because he totes the rock a lot. But listen, man, that kid Josh Vann, he's a legit player. I mean, he caught what was it, 4 long balls on us, 3 long balls, something like that.
Before we get on that dirt road, if our All-American transfers, what is he, a senior, star position players back directing traffic?
Yeah. Can
we mitigate some of that? I would say, yeah, maybe. And Darnell, this is going to go to the wart conversation. Darnell's back on the field. What you going to do? You got to worry about him. So if you're going to worry about him and put another guy over there, well, that opens up Brock. That's going to open up Jermaine. Ladd McConkey is making plays. Ladd McConkey. I'm bigger than Ladd McConkey.
You're not whiter though.
The backup to the backups is making plays. So when the aces and the kings and the queens come back into the deck, what you gonna do? That was for all of you.
Hopefully lose is the answer as far as I'm concerned. But
my only thought on that is if past performance is the best predictor of future events, won't need to do much.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard for me to get to a level of excitement and sustain that level of excitement just because of being bred as I am into this body, But it is, man. If ever there were a time to be excited, maybe this is it.
The SEC Shorts folks did it best when they did what the Georgia Hope
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's like it's just a can of mace just comes out and sprays that little hope fairy right in the face.
And that's all legitimate. Everything. I mean, shit talking aside, that's all legitimate. That's why we are how we are as a fan base and as a program. It's going to be a weird year, guys, for a lot of teams across the country, including Georgia. There's just like, I don't know. I feel a little bit different about this one. We haven't been this crisp. Let's go to the warts. Every team, there's no perfect teams right now. Okay, a lot of teams got exposed. Everybody's got a wart. Seems like with Georgia, they come into week one. Well, here's a wart, and then the next week that wart goes away, and here's another wart. And then the next week that wart goes away, and here's another wart. I'll give you an example. Week one, Georgia's got no offense. All right, great. And they come out the next week, now they got an offense, but they can't really run the ball. And then we come against Carolina, and it's like, all right, we got an offense and a good front seven, but we can't cover the deep ball. You see, it just kind of progresses. I feel like through the season, that's going to get coached up and fixed. Everybody's fast and physical. Florida's fast and physical. Alabama's fast and physical. Tennessee, Clemson, everybody's fast and physical. But I've done a deep dive on this 3-game sample. And
I like how you didn't finish saying Clemson just then.
No, I did. I said Clemson's fast and physical. I mean, you guys got a legit D. I'm not if I had to name, if you made me, held a gun to my head, well, what separates Georgia from us? Not much. One thing, it's the speed on the defense. And I don't mean that you're not speed. I don't mean you don't have speed. You all have speed, okay? A lot of teams have speed. Not this kind of speed. I'm running back plays over and over and over again. We're running guys down from behind. There's nowhere to go. I saw a play. I was talking to Mitch before we got on the show where Carolina did a bootleg to the right, threw it to a wide-open running back. He had 15 yards in front of him, and all of a sudden it's like Star Trek. There's like 5 red helmets teleport in. There were 6 Carolina blockers on 2 Georgia linemen, and that's everybody's, and they're all SEC defenses. Georgia's just got something cooking here, and so far in week 3, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
In a typical year, I'm at the point I'm excited with the team, and I'm thinking, yeah, but it's only a matter of time before we get hit with the injury bug.
We don't look like this. We don't look like this.
Or we get hit with the arrests or something like that. That's something that takes away from the team. And this year is different because we started with the team already having stuff taken away from it, right? And it's like, so suddenly we're getting excited about we're getting like this is our floor. You know what I mean? Like we're getting stuff added back in. I mean, I hope that that's true, and I'm just being excited, and that's this is what I look like when I'm excited. So anyhow, listen. I gotta give a shout out to that kid though, that Josh Van kid. Damn shame he plays for South Carolina because that boy could sure ball, man. He caught some balls that were. There was a couple times where it was like maybe some shaky play defensively, but there was a couple balls he would have caught in Hurricane Ida. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing going to stop that.
He would have caught that on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, the one-handed grab against the true freshman where he just reels it. I mean, that's a highlight. I mean, nobody's going to stop that. But
yeah.
Like my dad was going on and on and on. We can't defend the long ball. I'm like, well, okay. Off of 4 plays, you're saying that you got to be upright, throw the long ball. There's not a lot of times where the opposing quarterback's upright or not hurried or not pressured. Mm-hmm. And we did not look like this last year. We didn't look like this the year before. We didn't look like this the year before. It wasn't until the last half of the 2017 season that people were like, oh, yeah, Georgia's got a pretty good defense. Roquan's name didn't get mentioned until right before the Florida game. So I haven't had this feeling. We've been sloppy, arm tackling, just loose. This team is crisp. They're faster, I think, than anybody else I've seen. If you've got a better defensive resume to show me, show it to me. I'll gladly watch it. I don't think you've got one early in the season. We're a quarter of the way through.
If it matters to anyone, at this point last year, we were giving up 100 more yards passing per game than we are this year.
But guys, I mean, come on.
I feel like that would hold
last
true
season was
across
an
the
anomaly
board for a lot of schools. Yeah, I feel like last year, especially on defense,
for everybody.
Everybody's
I remember
defense
last year you said that the lack
inflated.
of a preseason affected the defenses more negatively than the offenses because you're always playing from behind on defense. I actually like that point, and I agree with that. So because now we have this, everybody had a spring, everybody had a preseason to work on that kind of stuff. I know the narrative the last, I'm going to say 2-3 years, defense is dead. You got to score. I still think that's true. But somebody's always going to figure it out. Back when you guys were killing it with the spread, nobody could stop Tebow and the Gators and Urban Meyer. Eventually, it got mitigated. Somebody's going to figure it out. I think the answer is you have to have speed. Yep. You got to be faster than them.
Oh, speed never goes out of style, brother.
That's why Alabama.
That's the only thing getting us. That's the only thing getting us by right now. I mean, we're pushing helmets. I mean, we're big and physical, but everybody else is too. I haven't seen this kind of crisp tackling. The angles are all right. The pursuit and just flat out speed. I'll probably say it 12 more times tonight. And I bet you bottom dollar, if you think Will Muschamp is over there twiddling his thumbs as just a special teams coordinator, you are full of shit. His hands are all over this defense. I mean, you can take to the bank.
I miss defense. I really miss defense. I mean, I can make Brandon and I can both make a pretty solid argument that between 95 and 2000, with certain anomalies, Florida being one, Tennessee statistically had the most consistent defense in the conference. I mean, Florida was the only team that gave us problems. I mean, if you look at it statistically, that 98 team only gave up one rushing touchdown all fucking season, and that was and I sat there and watched it happen. It was Deshaun Alexander. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the only rushing touchdown they gave up all year.
What did that team go on to do?
They won the national title.
We did that last year.
But they were consistently it was consistent. I mean, the defense bailed the offense out of a lot of situations. I mean, they saved Peyton's ass on more than one occasion, I can tell you. So I mean, I miss that. Like I say, always say, I'm a 3 yards in the cloud of dust guy. I'd run a wing. I'd outlaw anything except for the wing T or option. I'm looking at it. I know. I'm a lineman. I like hitting shit.
Dren wants some inside and outside veer. He wants the high school playbook guy. It's like 6 plays, line up and point to who you're blocking.
Let me tell you something. The best offense I've seen all year is Oklahoma High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Go Pats, and they run the damn wing T. Ball don't get 5 feet off the ground more than 4 times a game, and I mean that shit works. It's
on a side note,
I admit it, but it's effective.
Impressive rushing performances. A guy from Baker High School in Florida just broke Derrick Henry's record for most rushing yards in a game with like 550 rushing yards.
Jesus Christ.
And he was only born with one hand. Guy only has one hand.
Okay, I see.
And he broke Derrick Henry's he had like 550 rushing yards in one game this past week.
We're 18 minutes in, and we got a lot of guests here tonight. I think this is the most we've gathered in one room. Mitch, is there anything else you need to say about Georgia, South Carolina, the state of Georgia football? Good news, bad news, anything indifferent?
Not really. There's not a lot of talk about with Vandy. I mean, let's be honest. We complained and hemmed and hawed about the spread last week. What was it, 30.5?
It's 35.5 right now. Why are they doing this to Georgia?
That means people are betting on Georgia. That means people are betting on Georgia to cover that, so they that makes the spread go up.
Yeah, I mean,
people are betting. Georgia. It's Kirby. Kirby's going to take JT Daniels, who's rolling, and say, you know what, you need to sit down. Stetson Baggins, I need you to go in there and throw an interception. Do it now.
Did you guys see it? Did you see it?
I'm going to quickly tell you boys a story. Picture it. November.
You ain't quickly going to do shit. Let's get on with it.
November 20th, 1993. Louis Grizzard's last birthday. He is in Nashville, Tennessee, giving a show. It's the Sunday after the dogs come to town, and Vanderbilt just beats the shit out of them. And Georgia was favored by 28 points. And I don't know. Granted, I don't think Vanderbilt's got a shot in hell winning this thing, but I always think it's funny when Georgia comes to town overconfident.
With big spreads.
Shit tends to go wrong for them when they come to Nashville when they play in that fucking cracker box of
So speaking to bring it back to Georgia football. So one thing the commentators brought up a lot during our game was that first quarter when we got down 21-3. They kept talking about how it looked like we were a step behind Alabama players. We weren't used to their speed. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about playing FAU and USF to open the season, just like Matt was talking about. When you play against these teams like Clemson, like Florida, like the Tennessees, the SEC caliber schools, they have speed and power across the board, and it comes down to technique, like Matt saying, wrapped up tackles. Right. Looking at your guys' schedule, it seems to me like Clemson – you guys came out and just duked it out for 60 minutes and just threw haymakers, and the first one to fall down, that's what happened. But then you had UAB, South Carolina. Now you're going to have Vanderbilt. So that's three. I'm including South Carolina in here because they're a bit of an unknown to me, but considering how bad you guys put it on them and how bad I expect them to be, that's three relatively soft opponents. Mm-hmm. Are they SEC opponents? Yeah, sure, but they're probably the two worst SEC teams.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Then you get Arkansas coming to town, and then you guys hit that stretch. You got Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, Florida, 4 weeks or you have a bye before the Florida game.
But I think you guys have a bye before us.
Yeah, we have a bye as well. Yeah,
everybody should be fresh-ish going into Jacksonville.
The only SEC team who has a more formidable stretch than that is Tennessee. The stretch that Tennessee is about to go through is just
brutal.
Salute, gentlemen.
Florida, Missouri, Kentucky, and then
Ole Miss is on there.
Ole Miss is November. Ole Miss is late October.
Listen, that stretch, that y'all are about to hit, doesn't end until you get to the last two games. I mean, it's just like a nightmare of a schedule, So it's like South Carolina's schedule from last year.
South Alabama's in there somewhere. So
yeah, South Alabama. So you guys, I'm looking at now. You got Florida, Missouri, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama, Kentucky, Georgia, 7 games. Then you hit South Alabama. And then Vanderbilt. So your two softer games are at the end, and you got to just go through the East. That's pretty brutal. And then you get Bama thrown in there. But to bring it back to my point, in a couple of weeks, Arkansas is coming in. Mm-hmm. Arkansas's look pretty good.
They have.
You guys are talking about Kirby pulling people. Do you feel like when Arkansas comes in and wants to smash you in the mouth, do you guys feel like you're going to be ready for it? Because that was something I noticed that against Alabama, to where that first quarter you take bad angles, you arm tackle, you do things that work against guys that are 20 pounds smaller and maybe run a 4.6 instead of a 4.4. Mm-hmm. When you get those guys who bench 450 and run a 4.3 coming in, it's a different conversation. And I regret playing these teams. So I just wanted to know how you guys felt about it.
To that point about you're good going up against more good. We've got that on that front seven. The jury is still out on the back. The jury was always out on the back. If you remember, the question coming into this season for Georgia was, what is your defensive backfield going to look like? You lost 6 freaking players. Okay, I think they've been protected. I'll admit it. I'll concede that. They've made some serviceable plays, but am I worried about physicality with our front seven? Not nobody in the country, not this year. Not any team up or down. So
here's my fear for y'all.
Was that what you were asking?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just more of.
Are any of you here left that we haven't played? Sorry, Mikey. We'll get to you in a second. Are any of you from the other two fan bases concerned with our defense at all, or you think when we show up, you're gonna have your way on us?
I don't think anybody's gonna have their way with you. Everybody's the biggest fear I have for you guys is the biggest danger Will Robinson game on your schedule right now. If Arkansas can somehow figure out a way to beat A&M, it's that game. Is that now? Are y'all going to Fayetteville?
They come to us.
They come to us.
But still.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be more. That's going to be a tuned up squad that's going to be ready to.
No doubt about it. No doubt.
Mitch predicted that the first offensive touchdown we would give up would be to Arkansas. Sadly, that was not the case. It was to South Carolina. So I told I told my dad earlier, and I told Mitch, I'll tell y'all, we're going to take shots to the chin.
Oh yeah.
This year, I think Georgia's got a pretty solid jaw, though. I don't think anybody here, and this is not trash. This is just real talk. I think y'all going to get some in on us. I don't think any of you are going to be able to sustain, as long as we stay healthy, against this defense. And the offense is growing, and it's not as – you go back and look at the numbers, people are like, oh, they don't have an offense. That's horseshit. We're not sexy. We're not getting everything we want. We're damn sure getting everything we need, and we're getting more pieces back.
The Muschamp has spread throughout the fan base.
I'm waiting to see that Arkansas line, because that's going to be a hell of a lot closer ball game than what I think people.
Arkansas, what do you think the spread will be?
If they beat,
it's going to depend on A&M. Yeah, it's going to depend on.
They beat A&M.
If they beat A&M, 7. If they lose,
I was going to say 8.
15.
I think it's 14 if they beat A&M, and 20.
I don't think it's going to be that much. I really don't.
We're not picking against the spread. We are picking spreads.
Y'all, man, they love Georgia. I'm not even going to get into all that.
That's much
but back to Matt's point.
Points. Okay, it's Kirby Smart.
I hate to keep, the Alabama game was close and it was a good game, whatever. I had a lot of question marks playing FAU and USF despite the numbers we put up on them. Playing Alabama and playing against, you guys might have a better defense than Alabama, but you guys aren't trotting out anybody that's different than on Alabama's team. To me, that's the
defense is better than Alabama's.
I honestly haven't watched your guys' defense play enough to. The Clemson UGA game, it was so boring, man. It was just right? awful. It was just not good TV this time. Yeah, it was just odd.
It was odd. I told y'all that the night we did that show, Mikey, we're going to bring you in on this. I'm not happy with the win, but I just felt kind of like I needed to go take a shower. Like, it was weird. That should not happen between those two teams. And here's another question. Did Georgia Shang sung the soul out of Clemson? Is that what's going on now?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Just how afraid should Georgia be of the nerds from Techwood?
Mikey looks so good. He decided to save it forever. It's a picture for the ages, baby.
That's Mikey's new profile picture right
He's having a new tonic. He's having a tonic.
Well, oh wait, look at there.
I almost don't have anything to say. Like, yeah.
Can I read them the text message you sent me during the game?
I've got several.
Yes,
Jills
yes, please do.
Let me go back and find it. Let's see, where is it? This is it.
Like,
I sent Mikey a message when it was 14-3 Alabama, and then Florida threw that pick. I texted him at that point, and I said, "This is about to get out of hand." And he texted me back, "DJ is garbage."
Oh man!
Okay, he said he can't even get out of the way of his own feet.
Honesty is valued here.
Here's the conversation Mikey and I had. I asked him, "You doing okay?" He goes, "Our quarterback is garbage, and we just aren't as good as we have been." I laughed this is me. I laughed this morning when he was listed as a Heisman candidate on game day, Mikey, and the game was switched from ABC to ESPN News, and then now ESPN News has switched to Spike Ball. So I saw him fumble, and then it went off. and this is my favorite part. Spike Ball. Who gives a shit about Spike Ball? People that play Spike Ball don't care about Spike Ball. I was like on the floor laughing at that. I thought that was great. That's some serious frustration right there, dude.
I was on the floor crying at that, so it's a gosh.
Mikey, what's going on with Clemson real quick? Not looking good. Haven't scored a whole lot against any team from the state of Georgia. What is the deal?
I don't know. As I said to both of those guys in text, I'm pointing at them on my screen. So sorry. Our quarterback is garbage. He is absolute garbage.
Mikey, why is Lynn J. Dixon in the transfer portal?
Yeah, that shit.
Well, everybody on the roster lost their starting job to Shipley this past week, I think. And he by no means was he. He's not Travis Etienne or Wayne Gallman even, but he's the only person that can actually get yards. I mean, and he hasn't. I think he's got 130 on the season or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, somewhere Danny Ford's celebrating the beauty of the offense. But,
He's ETN ass.
Scares me.
Well, I mean, it's all. I mean, that's always what always happens to Dabo when Clemson can't run the ball. They get that ass. They look bad, and they have the propensity to get that ass whooped.
So does
earlier year before the season started. Yeah, and I told him.
What is this, Max Headroom?
No, it's not Max. It's like Pong. It's like
Mike, baby, we gotta upgrade your internet. We gotta get you some broadband or something because dial-up's not working.
Georgia's only got so much, man.
You gotta either put some more juice on that on the hamster, or you gotta get you a signal repeater down there, boy.
Does a one-loss Clemson ACC champion make it in over a one-loss Georgia non-SEC champion still? Because some of you said he did.
Yes.
No.
Ethan's going to ride that horse. What?
Bro, I have history on my side.
Conference championships mean a lot, but they don't mean everything. Bama showed us that in 2017, so I'll have to respectly disagree on that.
Well, I don't even see us in the
committee will side with me, but we'll see.
Here's another thought that I mean it's kind of unrelated, but in a way it is. What is the most unusual playoff 14 group that is still feasible right now?
Still feasible?
Yeah, like I'm not saying like possible. I'm saying probable. Like there's a little bit of probable. What's that?
Penn State.
I was thinking Iowa, but okay, I'm listening to Penn State.
They still get a play. Penn State, Oklahoma. Oregon.
What if Oklahoma gets passed over, Oregon gets in, and then let's just suppose that Notre Dame goes undefeated.
Notre Dame's not going undefeated.
No.
But
you said probable. You said possible.
I mean, there's some chance that could happen. But
Penn State, Oregon, Oklahoma, and Cincinnati.
Bama.
So no SEC seat. That would be pretty wild.
It would be wild. It would be wild to see.
The next day, if that happened, the next day they would expand the playoff. The next day.
Greg Sankey is starting his own playoffs and daring the NCAA to try.
Sorry, pardon my language, dear listeners. You know me, I'm usually a man of the cloth. If the SEC got left out of the playoffs, the next day they'd be like, yeah, 12 teams looks good.
I think Natalie Portman would just show up and say, I call for a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum.
Now we need a new Chancellor.
Oh, speaking of which,
Chancellor, yeah.
Mitch. Jar Jar Banks out there.
Oh, man. Dang it, man. We got to collaborate a little bit.
Emergency powers.
So,
wait, who said Jar Jar Binks?
I did.
This one down there. I can't point. Mikey, before we get off Clemson, because I want to give you your moment.
He fucking gave Palpatine, put out the motion to get Palpatine on the goddamn power.
Mikey, panic time for Clemson, or are you going to weather the storm this season? He's like Willy Wonka.
That dude looks like
all right.
What was the game with the little snake that came down? Centipede. He's coming down.
Let's give Mikey a chance to answer that question later. I want to get to the blood and guts of this weekend, and it's my favorite game of the year. My favorite game of the year. No, it's not a Georgia game. It's Tennessee, Florida. Because I get to sit back and watch you some of my bitches tear each other apart. I ain't got no dog in the fight, and the more of you get fucked up, the better. What's going to happen? I'll let you guys fight.
Oh, man, Mikey.
Mikey
we barely knew you.
Florida ain't covering 20.
Oh, shit.
I didn't think so either, Jen.
I mean, he said it like this ain't happening.
He said, I don't know.
Goddamn right, they're not covering 20.
Now, Ethan, are you hearing substance or are you hearing volume?
I ain't gonna be my goddamn 20 points. I could see 14, maybe 17. But
why are they not going to cover 20 points?
Huh?
It's nighttime in the swamp.
Yes.
Florida just, almost dethroned Alabama.
Yes.
They're riding a wave. They're riding momentum. They're tuned up, as you said before.
Yeah.
They're better than advertised. Why can they not cover 20 points against Tennessee? Oh,
let me tell you something. Momentum only lasts as long. That's my daughter. Momentum only lasts as long.
There we go, Bill.
As the time it takes your ass to get punched in the mouth.
Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Look,
very well put, Mr. Tyson.
Our defense is playing better than anybody thought. I mean, I'm being sincere about that. I did not expect these guys,
including myself,
to play that. Well, me, man. I mean, the only problem we got is depth. Offensively,
I don't think that's the only problem you got, but I do think that is a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Offense, I think our defensive backfield is good. I mean, Theo Jackson and Trayvon Flowers playing well. Lante Taylor's playing well. Finally, if you're going to kill us in the passing game, it's gonna be those intermediate, over the middle, drag route type things, and that soft underbelly of that 4-2-5, which I hate that defense. I just the two linebacker thing just not work for me, especially when your linebackers are the mental defective.
Is this a tech show or a football show?
Offensively, I mean, everybody should be healthy. Tyne Evans will be there. Jabari Small will play.
Who's going to be your quarterback?
Hooker. It's going to be Hooker.
That man did not hesitate.
Yeah.
What happened to the Joe Milton hype train?
Cooper Mays will be back. Thank God.
Is Cade Mays going to take off his ice skates and put cleats on?
I hope so. God, I hope so.
Boy,
he
likes skating backwards.
We're in
Mr. Mays' finger.
We're in the looks like Tarzan plays like Jane phase of his career. But I also think his baby brother getting hurt really bothered him because I'm gonna be honest with you, Cooper's the talent of that family.
Yeah.
I mean, their dad was good. Their dad would have played a long. He had a freak accident in training for the NFL. Kevin would have been in the league for a long time. He was that good.
He had all his
folding chairs.
He
had some freak accident doing non-contact drills, working up to his combine, and just had some massive nerve damage to his right knee. And it's seriously, I mean, that's why he never played pro football. But Cooper's going to be back. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better pass protection. Passing game, we're going to have to hit some shots downfield. We're going to have to figure out how to do that. Now, our receivers are fast. You know, Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, all those guys can run. If we can, we're going to get murdered if we try to stick solely with the perimeter screen game. Because those outside linebackers and D-backs in Florida are just too fucking fast for that to work on. I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to get hats on them fast enough.
God, he's whispering. It's freaking me the fuck out right now.
I gotta say something.
We got to get the ball down the field.
Okay, I gotta say something. All right. Ethan said earlier, what was it you said? It was, if you're going to look at the future, you got to look at the past. How did you phrase it?
If past events or any prediction for future.
Mitch, you were aching to say something. You got something to say before I drop this on him?
Yeah, I actually, I just a possibility here. I wanted this directed to Ethan.
And then I'm speaking.
You talk about the close loss to Bama as being an emotional high. Is there any chance that it is an emotional letdown?
It's possible, and that's where there's really two outcomes to this game in my mind, and this year is kind of a really interesting case study for Dan Mullen because we showed in the past couple of years with Auburn, with Georgia, we can beat the games that are the biggest ones on our schedule. The problem is when we let LSU come into the swamp and make stupid mistakes, or we go to Texas A&M and fumble the ball and let them win the game. Taking care of business is what matters. And this weekend is a taking care of business game. Tennessee has the dudes. Josh Heupel could probably scheme something up, just like Dan Mullen could do to make plays happen. And whether or not the guy, just like Georgia last year, you guys had some passes that if you connect on them, it's 21-0. It might even be worse than that. It's not even a game. If Tennessee gets a couple of those plays, that emotional letdown can happen. Personally, maybe this is my rose-colored glasses. I think we're going to be on the opposite end of that Bama game. Showed everybody we can hang and beat with it. We can compete with any team in the country. We can beat these teams if we play the way we're supposed to play. And if they come out with that mentality against Tennessee just doesn't have the dudes yet. Maybe you guys get them soon, but you're not there yet. Like I told you in the group chat, 20 points, that's a big spread, man. And I don't know if I trust Dan Mullen to keep his foot on the gas. I think we might be up by 28 at some point in this game. But if we ever get up that much, we're taking our guys out and letting I'm not saying that that's going to be the final outcome, but Dan Mullen has shown if he gets up big, he takes his foot off the gas, which is dangerous.
So what do you make out of a score? Let's just say you guys beat Tennessee in the neighborhood of 21-17, something like that. All right. What do you make out of that score versus what do you make out of a score where you beat Tennessee 45-3?
So when really in my mind, I think a 41-17 game might be most likely, which would still be the 20-point spread. That'd still be a big win, but I don't think we're going to hold Tennessee to 3 points, and I don't think Tennessee can hold us to just 21 points. So when you say 21-17, to me, my first instinct is interceptions, and that means Emory Jones threw some picks. Anything short of that, especially like the Bama game where we threw a pick on the 35-yard line, and if we have that against Tennessee, Tennessee's damn sure good enough to beat us if we throw picks on our side of the field. Any team in the SEC.
So a low-scoring close game will indicate to you then that taking care of business aspect of things business didn't get taken care of, so to speak.
Yeah. On paper, we should be able to handle Tennessee by 3 touchdowns. In reality, I don't think
buy into that on paper
Let
shit.
me play a little devil's advocate.
All right. Well, Ducati, get it out of go.
Play a little devil's advocate.
All right, hold on, Brandon. I got you.
Brandon.
Give me a second here. If we're going to try to predict the future by looking at the past, and I thought it was bad with us, and it is bad with us, at least in the 90s and the 2000s with Florida. Not so much now. In the last 16 games played, y'all have won 1.
That many.
You ain't gonna tell me because I'm looking at where they were ranked when they played. You ain't gonna tell me that some of them games. Let's just go back to I don't know, let's go back to 2012. Y'all are 23. They're 18 ranking wise. You ain't going to tell me you didn't have a fair shot to win that game. Has it become mental? Does Florida have a condo in your brain?
I think if we had the same coach throughout.
I'm asking a real question. Like, is it a pro? I mean,
we didn't have the same coaches. You can't use that excuse.
No,
We've had as much coaching turnover as you guys have had.
And it wasn't. I mean, initially it was never hatred.
That's not the point I was making.
Specifically, it was never hatred of Florida specifically in the beginning. I mean, none of this shit really began until. I mean, there's a little animosity in the late '60s when y'all sold Doug Dickey from us, and then, but he eventually came back. But it was nothing compared. It was nothing compared to what the shit that got stirred up with Spurrier.
All right, from 2005 to 2020,
you
beat the Gators one time. Is it? Am I crazy, or should Florida be like your new number one?
No.
Should Florida? No.
Bama. There's nothing knocks Bama.
Okay.
Nothing knocks Bama.
Fair enough. Oh no!
In my experience with Tennessee,
if I'm honest, and this is a family history thing, Florida's third, maybe.
Really?
People,
yes,
the Tennessee fans that I've met that are 90s kids, right? That grew up in the 90s when that animosity hit. Those are the only Tennessee fans I've ever say Florida's their biggest rival.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it's Bama. But every Tennessee fan I've ever interacted with, they've always had that special hate in their heart for Florida.
Why, Ethan? They only won 3 games in the 90s.
I don't hate.
Well, I mean, look at you guys. You guys have only beat us 9 times out of 30. You mean, you guys hate.
The 90s and the 2000s belong to Florida. This past the 2010s, we were 6-5. You got a 1-game winning streak in this next decade. Before the 90s, you couldn't buy a win against Georgia. And just so you know,
until 1990.
I want to remind you, football did exist before 1990.
Not for me.
It or not.
Not for Ethan.
He's that special kind of fan.
in between 89 and 2000, y'all couldn't find your ass with both hands.
Who, Georgia?
Yes.
We never beat Tennessee a single time in the year of our Lord 1990 to 90. Tennessee won every single game.
88 between 88 and 2000.
In the 1990s,
really?
We did not defeat the Tennessee Volunteers.
88 was
Steve Spurrier in 97. Yeah. But Tennessee is undisputed against the Georgia Bulldogs of the 1990s.
88 was the Vince Dooley retirement tour.
Yes, sir.
And we walked in there, and y'all, Richard Tarditz, the French.
Yeah.
The Frenchmen, they beat the ever-loving piss out of us. It's like 38-20.
If you want to separate it into decades, and let's go for the 90s. Tennessee holds a small edge because they are undefeated against the Dogs of Georgia. Florida is not. So I see what you're saying. I just I don't, like Ethan said, it didn't exist before me. Well, just so you guys know, I'm getting older, and there's a broom back here that sweeps shit away. I give a shit more about now. And for Tennessee, Florida now, Florida's got your ass.
Let me come to my volunteer friends, back.
What is this?
Two of those victories just in the past 5 years have been insane-o last-second plays.
Yes,
that's true. That's true. I'm looking at it.
Callaway on 4th and 14 or something, and then the heave to Cleve. But admittedly, both were tie games, so it wasn't a do or die. But still, the two of those W's, they took us down to the wire. The most amazing thing to me is we had our 2 worst years since we went 0-10 in the 70s in 2013 and 2017. And I'm pretty sure we beat Tennessee both of those years.
Yes.
Maybe you guys broke the streak in 2017. I couldn't remember which year it was.
16 was
16. Okay.
16 was not.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
But it's almost like Kentucky, to where we had that long streak against Kentucky, and it got to the point to where it's like, when's it going to end? Like, when are they going to get this break? And that's kind of how it is with Tennessee now, to where the games have been competitive. That 07 season when Tebow won the Heisman, Tennessee won the East. And that was, nobody remembers that because Tebow was Tebow's year, Yeah, and then, they didn't win the championship.
That's right.
And so in 08,
lost to Auburn in the championship game.
Yeah, and then from 08 onwards to now, it's been Florida, Georgia, the random Missouri, South Carolina 1 year, but Tennessee hasn't been able to get that foothold back, and I don't know what it is with you guys. I mean, you guys get some good recruits. I know Tennessee's not the hotbed that Florida or Georgia are, but I feel like you guys are just one decent coach away from turning it around. I mean, I feel like if we were talking about FSU during the pregame, and FSU's missing a lot of the pieces, I feel like Tennessee is missing a couple of pieces, and maybe that's just the right coach. I don't think Heupel's it, but we had.
I'm going to be honest with you. When Fulmer got fired after the 2008 season, it was just bad. We just had bad leadership. And Mike Hamilton, who was the AD at the time, was just a shitty AD. I mean, he had made bad hire after bad hire after bad hire. I mean, he hired some of the worst basketball coaches we'd ever had.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. But God love Buzz Peterson. Buzz Peterson's a nice guy. He shit the bed big time at Tennessee, and he was a Mike Hamilton hire.
And what happened this weekend?
Well, what happened there was
no, not then. Now, because I care about the turds in my toilet more than Tennessee basketball.
Wait. Okay, here's the thing.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Speaking of toilets,
and Mitch will back me up. I am a historian. Okay?
Yes. I'll back you up.
So I build my foundation of what I'm talking about today based on what happened back then. Because it's a fucking pattern. It's a fucking legacy that started because Phil Fulmer, excuse me.
What's up, KTG?
Yes, sir. Phil Fulmer told Mike Hamilton to go fuck himself, and Mike Hamilton had enough alumni friends to get Fulmer fired.
Are you playing right now, Caleb?
No, I just got off. I was kind of angry, so I was like, I'll just jump in with y'all.
And he went out and hired Kiffin.
So what you're getting at, Dren, is that there's been an administrative issue.
Yes, and then Fulmer came back and fucked us even harder.
Okay. If I may say so, I think the legacy really started in 1964 when Doug Dickey didn't offer Steve Spurrier a scholarship.
Ethan, it doesn't exist before 1990. Why are you talking?
That planted the seeds.
Whoa.
In 1990.
You just said football doesn't exist before 1990. Now you're talking shit. It's both sides. Now, which
no.
is
It's whatever side fits my argument at that moment.
Gotcha. Cheers, sir.
Yes, finally, an honest Gator. There, that man said it. Hey guys, listen. We're 52 minutes in here. We could do this. We could just do this all night long. But does anybody have any old business to attend to before we move forward with new business? Yes, young Brandon. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to say I'm wearing my best UTC ball cap this evening.
I was about to say,
go Mocs, go.
Go Mocs, go. Okay. Hey, you said something on Facebook earlier about this running back from UTC. Were you being serious? You're shooting me jive, or you're being straight talk?
This is gonna be like that scene in what was that movie? Jive Turkey. No. I've heard that the running back from UTC is really good. Haven't watched him. Haven't been to any of the games this season yet. But I've heard he's a hell of a running back.
I got no reasons to disbelieve you. I know Kentucky did not play the crispest of games. Will Levis turned the ball over 3 times, and they escaped with a 28-23 win. So,
and it was, I mean, it took a recovering an onside kick to seal it. It was
the Kentucky dark horse SEC candidacy it evaporated pretty quickly after that game.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I guess everybody, at least they didn't lose.
I don't know who they've got from the West, but there's no way they're gonna beat you guys in Georgia.
Texas A&M is their permanent from the West, or is it?
No, Texas A&M gets us South Carolina.
South Carolina, that's right.
They get
This about Kentucky?
Is it Ole Miss, maybe?
Yes, it is Ole Miss.
Are we talking about Kentucky?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all might as well beat Mitch Blue. Boy, he loves him some Kentucky Wildcats. I'm gonna tell you. Every
you
week I get a text. Boy, they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that.
I'm just glad this is shot from the waist up, Mitch.
Me too, Brandon. For a lot of reasons.
Kentucky,
there's so many reasons.
Y'all ready for picks?
So we are ready to go. Caleb, are you joining us for picks, man? Are you here for the picks?
I saw y'all were live. I was like, you know what? I ain't been on the show in a while. I might as well just hop on and chill. So whatever y'all want to do, I'm here.
You came in just at the right time because we got 5 of these bad boys, just like every week, and we're going to just go ahead and kick it right off. By the way, let's go over some housekeeping, I guess. The current standings: Matt, who doesn't give a shit about spreads, is sitting at 6-9. 6 wins, 9 losses. I have 5 wins and 10 losses. Dren and Ethan are tied at 4-11.
That's bad.
Mikey is 2-3. Brandon is 3-2. Josie is 4-4. So Caleb, listen, man. It ain't hard to get out ahead of these horses.
I filled out one of them last week. I know I won to Memphis when I was proud of that.
Speaking of getting fucked with your clothes on, man, Mississippi State got rogered but good in that game.
Yeah, I know, but hey, I was still happy.
That was. I don't care what the refs did in Happy Valley. That game in Memphis was just like, I mean,
that was something, man. It was something. That punt return where you're like,
I grew to hate Mississippi State, so
I had a buddy message me and ask me to explain.
What's up, Matt?
This is live TV or live internet, as it were, and then live TV or internet, things happen. Yeah. I can't think when I got to piss. So y'all talk and fight for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Right. Go ahead.
I had a buddy message me yesterday asking to explain what loss of downs meant because he's a Penn State. He's getting his graduate degree at Penn State, and he's like, he's not really a big football guy, and so he's like, I was really confused, and so I looked at the play, and I was just shocked. I mean, it was such a bad call to begin with, and then I'm having to explain to him what a loss of downs means on a drive in which the referees forgot what a loss of downs means and made Penn State punt on 3rd down. And so, I'm trying to unwind all of this for him, and I'm like, where do I start with this?
Right. Here's what it is. That thing you saw is not this thing.
With the punt.
Yes.
Yeah, that
was the one.
That's one of those things. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of years ago, the Cowboys ended up having to kick off twice because Dak Prescott said, "I defer," or something along those lines. We'll play defense or something. And because of the wording that he used, it meant that he let the opponent choose both times, and so they got the ball to start the game and at halftime. So it's those rules that you got to practice with a fine-tooth comb, so that when that moment happens, you say the right thing, you're in the right place.
But the back judge called the ball dead.
What did I just walk into here? I heard rules.
We were talking about the end of the Mississippi State Memphis game. And
man, that was crazy.
I mean, I bet you those special teamers, they're going to be tired this week.
Well, what's so bad is the guy comes up and he blows it. He blows it. He's waving his hand, and so the guys just start walking away. They're just moseying over to the sideline, and homie just comes and scoops it and goes.
I thought once you touched it, it was down. If you were the fielding team,
he threw the beanbag and he came in with his arms. He blew it.
So when the referee blows the whistle, right, the play is over. So typically if you down the ball and the referee blows it dead, like that's it. But I guess the argument here
I don't think
is
he ever blew the whistle.
Well, so he throws the beanbag and he does wave his arms. I can't hear a whistle.
I don't think he ever blows the whistle
1,000 times. But also if you're on the other side of the field, you know what I'm saying, and you turn and you see the ref with this number here, you know what I mean, he's not drowning. You know what I'm saying? Like this the play is over, you know? So yeah, I can understand that. But it's also kind of like that who was that? Was it Arkansas that got hit by the Mean Green a couple of years ago, and that weird kickoff where the guy never signaled the fair catch, and he catches it, hangs out for a second, and then just jets, and the Arkansas players were walking away. You know, so Memphis won the game.
Yeah, but you never saw a ref blow that shit dead.
Yeah, no, that is true. Like
that's a big kid being smart.
I mean, what was it like the Oklahoma State Central Michigan game last year, to where it had something to do with there was some weird rule to where the refs didn't call the play dead, and the Central Michigan guy just got to run it in for a touchdown, and they ended up upsetting Oklahoma State. And then after the fact, they came out and they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually totally butchered that call, and they should have never had the ball." Let me see if I can find it.
All right,
let's while you're looking though, let's get started on this. So the first game of the evening is the and I don't have the home away or time. I don't have the home away or channels or times for any of these. All right, so UGA is favored by 34 and a half.
Why don't we let Caleb go first?
Hey, welcome, big man. You want to kick us off there? Who do you like? You want to take UGA and lay those points, or you want to take Vandy?
I'm taking Georgia. I think they're still mad about last year when they canceled right before the game. I see Georgia winning 52-3. That's my actual prediction.
Dang.
Okay.
They're pissed, man. They're pissed.
I mean, you make a good point. It's like, they cancel on Georgia, and the next week they play Tennessee, and then they canceled on Georgia again. I'm like, come on, man.
Today, Kirby said there was no anger. Frustration was a better word. That's a quote. You can go look that up on the internet.
In the Bainbridge sense, that means he's pissed off.
Yeah.
Right. Kirby took the internet away from Mikey down there.
Next.
Speaking of Bain Brigadiers, your boy D Peasy sure looked fine. Ethan, just a little shout out there to old Damian.
He's good. Yeah.
I'll go. I kind of see this as a 40, kind of like a 38-7 game. I think Georgia wins. I don't think Vandy is getting better, but then again, it is Vandy.
Mr. 4-1-1. He's got the 4-1-1. That's his record too. But he's also got the 4-1-1.
They played pretty decent. They had a decent second half against Stanford last week. They're getting better. Like I say like a 38-7 Georgia win.
I spent the weekend in Fort Collins. Those people over there are still stinging from that whooping that Vandy put on them.
Georgia going into Vandy in Nashville is always giving Georgia fits. So
all right, Brandon.
I think Georgia win no cover. Vandy's going. I'll take Vandy plus the points.
That shit ton of points there, son.
He always says it. 2.5 point spread.
Not the guy. That's a
Yeah, and I was right because they didn't cover against South Carolina.
No, they didn't.
But it is Vandy, 34.5.
Come on, Brandon.
I think I'm with my ball brethren here. I think it'll be a lot, but I don't think they'll get past 34 points. So I'm going to go with Vandy.
All right. Let's see. I wish we had Mikey here, man. So I don't mind jumping in here if Ethan and Matt, you guys want to finish this up. I figured that
the Georgia picks, I'm going to defer to the guests, and I'll go either last or after you.
I don't mind going here. I think that Georgia's going to absolutely obliterate Vandy. Like there will be a stain with a little anchor coming off of it, right? So I'm taking the Dogs. All right.
I think Uga absolutely destroys Vandy, but I do
Look at
think
this guy.
I think Vandy backdoor covers. I think it's gonna be like 42-10. I think it's gonna be like 42-10, but Vandy scores a touchdown with like 2 minutes left.
Just like South Carolina did.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, Matt. So I'm just going to go ahead and write down Dogs.
You can just take me in the Dogs for the rest of the year. You ain't even got. You can just skip me. All the points you want to give, anybody we got to play, wherever we're going. I've got an unfound confidence. Doom and gloom is out the window.
I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that in 2 weeks.
I mean,
this is the team. This is the year. We about to take all y'all's jokes and pop that balloon. And then you ain't gonna have shit.
That 41-year-long festering.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I'm gonna take my 1980 shirt. And I'm gonna
and then that balloon's gone. You're gonna be like, well, y'all haven't like won you haven't you ain't gonna have shit to say. So I'm taking UGA all the way. I'm seeing some. I don't know if it's gonna be as extreme as Caleb, although I like the way he thinks. But I'm thinking something like 49-3, 49-6, something like that.
Okay, all right. So moving on. Now we're getting some actual picks.
Oh, I'm not going first on this one. I'm struggling on this one.
Caleb, you started us off last time. I have no problems going first here. I have no problems. LSU versus Mississippi State. LSU is a 2.5 point favorite there. I was leaving Fort Collins. I was actually flying out of Denver. And I got stuck in the security line. And we actually wound up missing our flight because the line was so long. But while I was stuck in the security line, I was behind this nice elderly couple from Baton Rouge. So if you folks are listening, go Tiger and all that. But I just talking to those guys, they were nice, knowledgeable people, and they said that the fan base. These are the folks they have partied with every fan base. And they said the fan base that they most disliked partying with was the Kentucky fans because they drink too much. That's what the lady said. I have no reason to argue with her.
If you drink too much for LSU fans,
that lady said that Kentucky fans drink too much.
Damn.
Right, and she had to put her flask down to say that. But
nothing else to do in Kentucky.
She said that Orgeron is not ready to leave, and that he is not ready to get fired. And so I believe that lady, and I am therefore picking the Bengals from the Bayou, and I'm laying the 2.5 points.
I'll go ahead and jump on the LSU wagon there as well. I think LSU has better talent than Mississippi State, and Mississippi State has really done nothing to make me believe that they can really even hang with LSU.
You know what Mississippi State is pretty good at doing? They have a pretty good run defense. They're pretty good at stopping the run. You know what LSU ain't doing? They ain't running the ball. So don't matter. All right. So I think you got a good pick there.
Okay, this is the game that LSU has had circled on their calendar for the entire fucking year.
Yeah.
They want this one bad. I would have taken LSU at 7 in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take LSU. I'll take LSU minus 2.5.
Okay. How about you, Matt? What about you?
Why did Brandon turn up side?
It's Brandon. He's on his phone. I mean, but it's Brandon. That's really all you need to know.
Got him.
I'm gonna go last.
Again. That man said he wants to go last again. All right. Well, I need to hear from Brandon. Or
Brandon.
Caleb, you can have it if you want it. I think Brandon might have passed away.
Brandon might be hanging out with Mikey right now.
Brandon,
you dead man. Zanka, you dead man.
Caleb, what you got on this one?
I'm just going. I'm going to LSU.
Okay.
Short, sweet,
LSU.
to the point.
All right. When Brandon comes back in, he can let us know. He can give us his spiel. But Matt, what about you? You gonna spoil? You can play spoiler here?
No, I want to make my mind known. I hate picking Mike Leach because he's like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're going to get. He'll put up 60 or he'll put up 0. He's feast or famine. This is why I don't have any faith in Oklahoma or Lincoln Riley, because he comes from that tree. And a lot of times Lincoln Riley gets like not deer in the headlights, but he falls into that Mike Leach trap where it's like, yep, we've been working all game and this is working. Now let's do something else, and it don't work. Or he just shows up with nothing. I hate picking on Mike Leach games. And I was going to pick Mike Leach for this until you reminded me, Dren, that they got this sumbitch circled. Because last year nobody in this room knew how bad LSU was going to be. Nobody in this room knew all the miasma that was going to form around that program. In fact, a lot of folks said, "Oh, LSU, they could probably make another run. They could probably repeat." And Mike Leach went, "Nope." I'm going to take the Tigers on this one.
Sounds good. All right. Moving on. Ooh. Y'all ready for this? I got no problems going first. Anybody
Go
just want to
ahead.
hear it?
Do it, because I know what you're going to do.
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, woo, pigs, suey. I'm just going to go ahead and take them pigs. I'm not even going to write down ARK. I'm writing down WPS on the sheet here. Arkansas is going to win this ballgame. That ain't no guess.
How do y'all like that?
All right, Vicky Valancourt.
I'll go ahead and throw this out there. Dargan Ware absolutely destroyed me in fantasy football this weekend, and for that reason alone, I am picking Texas A&M.
Oh, come on! Don't do a fuck you to Dargan. Dargan's a sweetheart. Leave Dargan alone.
Hey man, do you see
facts.
my record? Do you see my record? That's honestly probably doing him a service. I mean,
it's the kiss of death.
Come screw Jimbo.
I mean, I like Jimbo. I do like Jimbo, but I like Sam Pittman more. I'm kind of like with Mitch. Arkansas. It's going to be Arkansas.
Just say it, buddy.
Arkansas is going to run the state of Texas this year.
Okay. So this will be a tiebreaker between you and Ethan. You and Ethan are going. You're two paths diverged in a wood.
Yes.
Right. So all right, Caleb.
Well,
don't take that fool bet, man. You know you won't TAMU.
Let me tell you. Y'all know I do the streaming thing. My biggest, minus Georgia, my biggest fan base is Arkansas. So if I pick TAMU, they'd kick my ass. Woo pig, baby. I'm taking Arkansas.
Smart
He's
man.
a businessman.
His audience.
Respect it.
That's what I'm talking about. Share that on your stream. I'll cut that clip out for you. You can share that on your stream, all right?
There you go. They'd love it.
All right, Matt, what you got, buddy?
I need Arkansas to win this game. I want Arkansas to win this game because I need Arkansas to come in feeling hot and ready to trot when they get to Athens, because it looks better for us when we castrate them pigs like I've done in real life and they squeal real loud.
Justice for Turtle.
But
I got to send you a picture after I found Turtle's skeleton. I almost bought it.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
I didn't feel like it would be too niche of a joke. I found it in Spirit Halloween.
Oh, there's our new catchphrase. That's just too much.
I need somebody to take Jimbo down a little bit.
Is it the pit boss?
I don't know. No, it's not.
Okay.
I'll take A&M on this one. I think they've got the talent quotient, and a lot of smoke, a lot of fire. I know they struggled. They beat somebody 10-7. They struggled and looked bad.
It was Colorado.
Yeah. But like I told y'all to begin this hour and 13 segment, this is going to be a weird year. You're going to see teams shit the bed. You're going to watch them turn around and look like world beaters. And I think A&M's going to get it.
All right. Fair enough. Here we go. Tennessee versus Florida. Florida's favored by 20.
I think we should defer to the men involved in this fight
Anything you want it first? Go.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this, man. I am going to have to take Florida in the 20. I think the only caveat will be if Dan Mullen eases off the gas or the team comes in with that emotional letdown. Based off of what I've seen so far, the more likely scenario is Dan Mullen takes his foot off the gas because everybody, all the players, the team, we're healthy still. We went through that Bama gauntlet and we were missing Ventrell Miller, who's our all-SEC linebacker for the season. That happened during USF. Other than that, everybody's pretty healthy. So I think we come out hit on full cylinders. I think Anthony Richardson's going to be all over the place, and I think we're gonna cover that 20.
All right.
Okay. Tennessee has beaten Florida in Gainesville twice in my lifetime. In 2001 and in 2000, it was 2005, I think. Spurrier then Zook. I'm taking Tennessee plus the points. I see this as a 14 or 17 point game. If I'm really honest.
Okay.
Surprised to hear me say that, ain't you, Caleb? 14 to 17 points. I don't see 20. Ethan, I think you're probably right. You guys may get up on us by about 28, but we haven't had a truly disastrous second half yet. I mean, we held Pitt to 14 points in the second half of that game after they put 27 on us in the second quarter. So
you know what my favorite part of the Tennessee Florida game was last year?
What's that?
I got to see Roman Harrison tackle Dameon Pierce.
Special.
That was a special moment for me. That was a special moment. They were both Bearcats, both former Bearcats. So I think Florida's going to roll. Honestly, I really do.
We'll see.
I'll say Florida by closer to like 28.
All right. So I think Florida's riding high pretty good. You know, they got their 31-29 moral victory. So give me Tennessee, and I'm calling the upset. Go Vols.
What?
I'm feeling crazy today. I don't like Florida. Don't want to pick Florida. I don't like their moral victory. Give me the Vols, baby. I'll wear orange. I don't even care.
Be careful with that. Be careful with that.
You're gonna hold your ass.
Boys put on orange, they turn into certain.
I'll wear it, man.
Oh, hey, we've been Caleb. We have actually been talking about. We had a sort of conversation about this. November 13th. I think Ducati's busy. I think you're going to Penn State. I was told you're going to a Penn State game that weekend. I think that's Penn State, Michigan, actually. But Mitch said he might be able to make it down. Brandon can come up. I have contacts with a bar. With a guy, I know a guy who owns one of the bars on Cumberland Avenue on the Strip, where we could broadcast from potentially after the game. I haven't talked to him yet because we really hadn't.
Shit, I'd rather do that than go to Happy Valley. Fuck Happy Valley.
But here's the catch.
That SEC blood, baby.
Here's the catch. The winning team. The broadcast is based on who wins the game. So if we somehow by some implausible fucking miracle manage to beat you guys, it would be the Very Orange live stream that would go live after the game. If you guys win, it would be a special episode behind the
special,
that's
episode.
That's pretty much settled. Y'all ain't gonna beat Georgia this year.
You guys are more than welcome. More than welcome to show up. We'll figure that shit out somehow.
That might throw a wrench in my plans. Young Brandon, what will happen in the swamp this weekend?
Shit, 20 points is a lot.
Dang. Does he really say that after every?
I want to hear that man say Florida. I want you to say Florida.
I love you, Ethan, but they're not getting 20 on the balls.
Shit.
All right, man.
That's the universal symbol for masturbation in Tennessee, son. You go to jail for that.
All right. So before we go,
you guys must have ran out of goats.
I didn't make
Matt.
my pick.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I think Florida's going to make this look easy. We've talked about it since we've been doing the show this year. Tennessee's in a bad spot. This, that, and the other. And I don't think it's going to get any better at night in the swamp. I mean, Alabama damn near lost. I don't think Tennessee has a chance to win this game. So I don't think they'll even make it competitive.
Okay.
I do not think Tennessee will make this competitive, but I think they will be enough of a pain in the ass just to be a pain in the ass. I'm seeing a 17, some weird 17, 18-point win. I'll take the points.
See, that's exactly what I said.
Not, but wait a minute. Let me be perfectly clear here. This game's never going to be in question. Florida is going to continue to do what I told you they've been doing to you for 15 years, 16 years. However, I think you're going to be like a gnat on a hot South Georgia, North Florida morning, and they're going to get in that eyeball to prevent Florida from covering.
Okay.
I will say, if this game wasn't in the swamp, I would want like a 10-point spread. I think that the home field advantage is going to be pretty huge for Tennessee.
I think.
Brandon, who do you like in the LSU Mississippi State game? LSU has to give away 2.5 points.
Yeah, I'll go with the crowd and say LSU.
Okay.
I think
who
they're
do
out
you
for
like?
blood.
Who do you like in A&M in Arkansas? A&M has to give away 5.5.
I'll take that A&M and 5.5 points.
Okay.
That's a puts move.
All right, so now here we are. We're getting ready to end the show, gentlemen. It's going to happen.
Tennessee's got nowhere to go but up. You got nothing to. There's no light.
Their backs are against the wall.
You ain't gonna win the East. You're not gonna win a national championship. Why not cover a spread?
You will
start there?
Will win 4 games though. Will win 4.
I just want to point out to you guys that Ducati has talked way more shit about Florida Tennessee than I have.
It is true.
Okay.
Well, that's because you're sitting over there being quiet. You know what you want to say. But I've had the courage to say it because I feel it because your picture's next to mine. Don't sit there and act innocent. I caught your mind wave.
Hey, man, that is true. We are kind of connected here.
Where's
you letting me do all the dirty work, and then you want to sort of be like, man, I wasn't saying shit. No, you saying shit. You just wasn't saying.
Hell, you have to get somebody's mind wave.
Boys. I need my 7 hours. Where's Kentucky and Carolina playing? They playing in Lexington?
They're in Columbia.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Whoa.
That's a good. Why didn't we put that on the list? That's going to be a good measuring stick game for those two.
Okay.
Dren's
on the board.
This is going to be a 3-point game. It's going to be a 3-point game.
South Carolina for Dren. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think the Wildcats will roar, go big blue,
painting
blue,
blue,
banjos,
Mitch blue.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, it's Kentucky. They're going to find a way to fuck it up. They always do.
I'm telling you, it's Kentucky. You're coming to wow! Meet us at Kroger Field, y'all. Woo!
He loves them. He loves them.
All right, what you got there, Ethan or Brandon?
I'll take Kentucky, quick and easy.
Oh, man. All right, so what about it, Brandon?
I'm gonna take a 2-game lead on your ass too.
This is where we separate the men from the older men.
We adapt the awkwardly feminine from the possibly Canadian.
So we talked about being disheartened by almost losing to a team. That team being the Monks. I'm going to take South Carolina.
Okay.
I'm saying it's going to be a 3-point game. One way or the other. I don't know which, but I'd say 3 points is going to be.
How about it, Caleb?
Yeah.
Kentucky.
My guy. All right, Matt, you get to finish it out. We got 3 for Kentucky and 2 for South Carolina.
Augusta High School, the winningest football program in the nation, aside from the Michigan Wolverines. And they're Wildcats. So I'm going to take them Wildcats, baby.
Okay, that's it.
Former employer there.
Picks are locked.
Yeah, we can do a whole show about that motherfucker.
Maybe we will. Maybe we have.
My high school football offensive lineman coach played for Valdosta State.
That's the college. I'm talking about Valdosta High.
I know what you're talking about. That's why I said Red Pros.
Did he play for Miami?
Shares the stadium with a high school team, so you know.
I'd have to look at the time frame. I'm not sure who he played for, but he may have.
I won a Division II national championship for Valdosta State.
Mitch, I was there in it. Yeah. I went to Valdosta High into Valdosta State. Valdosta State used to be a dynasty.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Okay. Any last words? Anything at all?
Let's go down the line.
Mm-hmm. Caleb, man, thanks for stopping by, dude. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
Hope you can join us later
on YouTube. I watch the show on YouTube every week, and I had some spare time. I was like, man, I actually love the show. So I was like, I'm gonna hop on. I need to come on more, dude. I really enjoy y'all.
You know, it'd be a lot easier for me to watch your streams if you weren't playing Georgia and FSU every time I see it.
I ain't got FSU no more. I keep them to the curve.
The only time you post, I'm in the middle of teaching a class. So.
No, I post at 9 o'clock at night too, man. You just got. I'm using Rutgers at the nighttime, so you know the birthplace of college football.
Okay.
Caleb, you get some of that.
I'm going to say it, and then I'm gonna run. Very Orange live stream, 9:30 Thursday.
I'm off. I might have to drop in.
Well, you more than welcome. We interrupt your shit all the time. So what's maybe Walters this time will get a decent stable connection and he can join us for more than 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Y'all are more than welcome to come. Please come see us. Just make sure like, subscribe, follow the entire field of streams.
Real quick before we leave. Yeah. The Central Michigan Oklahoma State play I was talking about earlier, the refs called intentional grounding on Oklahoma State with 0 time left on the clock, so they gave the ball to Central Michigan. Central Michigan then threw a Hail Mary and scored the touchdown on it, but you don't get an untimed down for an offensive penalty. You only get an untimed down for a defensive penalty. So Central Michigan got the ball when they never should have and beat top 10, top 15 Oklahoma State team.
Snafu.
That was the play.
All right. Fellas, good night.
See you guys.
See you later.
See you.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, later on. So, Caleb, you're going to have to get some of those guys, man, that stream other games, and add them to the Field of Streams group. See, if you know some streamers, bring them on, let them stream their content, man.
I got you.
Trying to get spread out.
I want to be a streamer. Show me how.
Hey, I can help you out, man. Anything you need, I'll help you get the setup going. It's fun, man. Being a streamer, getting to talk college football, and
that's all I want in my life,
man. And you get to troll all you want to. It's so fun.
Hey, they call streaming jacking off something completely different these days. Ducati.
Don't mind him. He's from Tennessee.
He's my favorite
in Florida, but one time in 16 years. He's bitter about some things.
Hey, we'll see you Thursday, Brandon. And Caleb, we'll see you. When does your show run?
I usually run from about 1 to 4 or 5 during the day, and then at night I go 9 Eastern time until about 11 because I usually run an online dynasty with a few more people. So I run. That's why I don't come in here on Tuesdays, but I'm gonna probably switch that up. I do want to be on here some more, man. I actually love the show. So
yeah, man, we'd love to have you. You got it.
Yeah, you want to know what's really funny, dude? Is that I actually go back and watch these shows.
Oh yeah, I watch them.
I get entertained.
Usually I catch them Tuesday after I get done streaming. I'll go in there, and the first thing that pops up on my recommended is you guys. So I watch the whole thing. So it's pretty dope, fun, man. Y'all are definitely pretty entertaining, man. I enjoy it.
All right, appreciate you. Definitely don't know anything about football picks, but otherwise, I don't know what's going on with this. All right, hey boys, it's been fun. It's been a long night. We gotta get some sleep, and y'all take her easy. We'll see you next time.
You want that Dusty Rhodes? You want that Dusty Rhodes?
Let me get that Dusty Rhodes.
Now you got to tune in next week.
Oh, later, everybody.
See y'all.